All right, let's see. I know I can figure this out. If the last episode we did was with Miles, then clearly today's episode has to be Monday today, right? And then and my co-host is AJ. That's right. That's got to be the case, right? Right? Oh no, guys, it's worse than I thought it was. It's just me. There we go. This is PSVR Gamescast Live. We film live every single Monday, Wednesday, and 2 West Friday right here on YouTube. We do it live 6 p.m. Eastern for your viewing pleasure, but we care oh so much about your oral pleasure as well. And that's why we put this thing up on podcast services of your choice. Guys, I'm going to need all the help I can. I have no idea what the volume levels are like. I have no idea what if my mic decides to become static. Train whistle on my end. So you guys gotta keep me honest over here, right? You guys are my co-host. That's why all of these names over here are next to me, where AJ should be, where Wes should be, where Miles shouldn't be. He already did Monday's show. AJ, so oh man, speaking of which, Monday Miles was here, and that screwed up everybody, right? Screwed up me, screwed up everybody, and somehow with all the people switching shifts, I got it confused. And so when I canceled the show on Wednesday, at like 5 o'clock, I sent AJ a text message and said, "Hey, listen, I'm not feeling like myself. I don't think I'm going to do the show tonight. Let's just cancel." Because I thought AJ was going to do it. And he was like, "Okay, cool. Whatever you got to do." And then at 6:15, I get a message from Wes saying, "Are we streaming tonight?" And so AJ was totally on board with canceling the show, even though it wasn't his day to cancel. And so anyway, this week it all screwed up. My brain is no longer functioning properly, and we're just going to have to roll with the punches, I guess. But that did mean AJ was supposed to be on today's show. AJ's not feeling well, though, so make sure we send a lot of love to AJ in the chat. He's got a little bit of a fever, and I told him, get some sleep. He really wanted to do it, right? Because he's a consummate professional. Consummate. I don't know what consummate means, but I always use it before the word professional. How are you guys doing? Everybody good out there? Today was the Upload VR Showcase. The Upload VR Showcase was very much an Upload VR Showcase. I saw a lot of people saying, "Hey, get me caught up. What happened at the Upload VR Showcase?" It was as always. There was just a ton of games, which is great. But there's a lot of filler, as always. And I'm always of two minds about it, right? Because I was watching the Upload VR Showcase. I was watching it live on Upload VR. I was going to say .com, but that's not how the internet works right now. I was watching it live on youtube.com/uploadvr. And every time another game showed up on screen, the developers of those games were in the chat, and they were like, "Hey, this is us. We're so excited about our game." And I was like, "Oh, this is even though there's a lot of filler, like super independent games, like made by 1 or 2 or 3 people. There's such a wholesomeness to it when the developers are there, being like just so beaming with pride about like, hey, this is our game. We're so proud of it." And then Mad Props Baller's like, "This game looks like a PS2 game." Which is like super fucking disrespectful, but also accurate. So like, I mean, it's hard to be like, dude, like show some respect when it's like, well, this isn't about stroking any developer's egos. This is about showing off interesting games that should be coming up. So I'm very much of two minds about the entire thing. So I love that. I love that most people there. I saw so many cats over there. And you guys are all awesome. I saw a 12-toed Tom after like every single game being like, "Is this going to come to PSVR 2?" And I love that enthusiasm. It's just so great. And so, I think we are making a difference out there. People are hearing us, which I mean, if you guys watch the show, if you didn't watch the show, I don't really care. Like there were 3 games for us. There were 3 games for us, and only one of them had a PSVR2 logo on it. The 2 games that didn't have a PSVR2 logo were Exoshock, which the developers again were in the chat, and they were saying, "Yep, absolutely coming to PSVR2 later." So it's good reminder that Exoshock is coming. And then after that, God, I got this. Is that EXD game, right? The extra dimensional game that we all flooded the Discord server of, and basically a dormant server since 2023. We flooded and made an active server, which was really just fantastic. And so they showed off a little bit more of their game. Nothing too crazy. But it was, wait, hold on. What happens when it's just me and I switch over to the, oh, hi. All right. That still works. Good. The audio listener is going to have no idea what's going on. This is such a great looking game. Again, just a passionate team, really, really trying to push the boundaries of VR, especially for a small team, right? This is the kind of stuff I would expect from a Vertigo Games. This is the kind of thing I would expect from a Survios. But instead it's, the small team over at Lords of Illusion. And this is exciting. This is exciting. Shapeshifter says, keep Exoshock. It looks terrible. I just got the notification that it's going free to play. So you can just get in the game free to play, Exoshock. Hold on, do I have an Exoshock trailer? Probably not. I don't know. Probably not. Maybe I do. But yeah, it's going free to play, and then you can buy into the. Oh, here it is, Exoshock. You can buy into like the full-fledged game for $15. So I mean, super duper budget game, and so I haven't looked into it enough to care. You know what I mean? Not at all. I'm like when it gets closer to being a PSVR2 game, then I'll care. But the fact that they've already kind of gone the free to play route in order to get more players in the door probably doesn't bode too well, especially since this is a game that I think would do best on Quest. But free to play works pretty well on Quest. So, Tatum's in the chat. Exoshock isn't great. I'll warn everyone. All right, well, listen, hopefully they have a chance to get all these updates in. This is what I love about being a PSVR2 gamer, right? We are generally not the test audience for this stuff. We get the tried and true games. We get the stuff that's been updated over the years. And then when Into the Radius is finally done, then we get an awesome port of it, courtesy of VR Monkey. Hey, meow meow right back at you, Em. Anyway, Exoshock, EXD, and then the topic of the show, which was Automa. And I hope I'm pronouncing that right. There's only 5 letters. AUTO AMA. AUT. I forgot. I don't know how to spell. Somebody call the paramedics. I spell toast. So yeah. Listen, it was kind of a bloated show. There's 50 games. That's what one of the upload people were saying at the beginning. There are 50 games, and really, I think they could have shortened it to about a half an hour. And even if they wanted to keep in all the games, I honestly think, as somebody who edits constantly, and edited the PSVR2 day for Flat to VR on Without Parole, you got to learn how to cut shit down. If you're going to show a bunch of games that, like, again, respectfully, very few people are going to care about, like, you got to chop that shit down. 15 seconds for each of those games. Boom, 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 boom. It could have been more of a sizzle reel type thing. But again, I am of two minds. It's so nice to see these small developers getting attention that they would not get otherwise. So there's no winning. You know what I mean? There's no winning. Guys, we have so much to talk about today. It's going to be I don't know how long the show is going to go on, but I canceled all my plans for the night. And if you believe that I had plans for the night, then I don't know where you've been. We got Andrew Ehrenreich with the $5 in the chat saying, happy 1Y Bride Day. Well, even 1Y Bride Day has 3 Ys in it. Or actually, and happy 1Y Bride Day has 4 Ys in it. So we're going to go with 4 Ys Bride Day. Hope all's well. I'm still hopelessly addicted to D&D and Demio. Hopefully I'm near the end. I love when somebody's like, I'm hopelessly addicted to this game. I can't wait for it to be over. But it's true. It's true. At least the for me, the second campaign just felt endless, mostly because it was way more difficult, and we were playing maybe before we should have played it. But how are you doing, Andrew? How are you doing with the difficulty on that? I know you were saying that it seemed difficult. You're getting your ass kicked. I am curious to know if you managed to succeed where I failed. Anyway, says he needs to move on to something else, and I feel that. I absolutely feel that. Sometimes I'm playing a game and all I want to do is just like, okay, I'm done. Let's move on to something else. So. Ewar Woo Woo says random, but did you see Legendary Tales is now coming to Quest? Yeah, which is crazy because PJ said some crazy shit about Quest, right? Like he spilled the tea on Meta, and we're all like, Urban Wolf is never, ever, ever going to work with Meta. Meta's never, it's never going to happen now that he spilled the beans. So it is. I mean, listen, the more money he can make, the better. So we'll talk a little bit about Legendary Tales in a little bit, though. We got Fifth with the Australian $5 tip. Says, you're so busy with all the new games. Do you have fun playing them, or is there just too many at once? I will tell you that occasionally I'm like, ugh. I honestly think that if I reviewed flat screen games, I would be so much more productive, because sometimes when you've had a long day and all you want to do is just lay down, I still find myself playing like a Switch 2 game or a Steam Deck game while I'm watching TV, right? And I feel like I could just blast through hours of games that I have to play for review while doing that, or even on the Portal. But man, sometimes like it's been a long day and I just lay down in bed and I turn on YouTube and I'm like just chilling, and then I go, oh shit, I gotta get back in the headset and I can't do that from here. You know what I mean? Like it is a different way to play games. And so every so often I do kind of kick myself for having to get out of bed when I just want to go to sleep, or at least, start relaxing for the night and get up and go play. But again, I always feel once I'm in the headset, everything changes, right? Once I'm in the headset, I'm like, time just disappears. And it's no longer midnight, and I'm in that world, and I'm in it, and so so I don't think it like affects how I feel about games, just because there's a lot to play. But I will tell you this: I am very, very happy that we are getting to a point where shit's settling down. Or I think I did like 15 reviews in the last 2 months. I've never done as many reviews as I have in my entire life. In the last 2 months, and then and now we're like getting to a point where, and I've still missed games, right? I still missed games. I still haven't even started Audio Trip. Weren't there like 2 other games that came out this week? 2 smaller games other than Ghost Town. Was Ghost Town this week? Why does Ghost Town feel like 3 weeks ago? Anyway, Ghost Town and Thief. What a great week. There were 2 other games that came out. I think God of Rifts and something else, and I didn't even try to get my hands on those games. Didn't buy them. Didn't ask for review keys. Nothing. Right? Just been busy. And so there's that. So there's games that snuck past me, but maybe I'll get to them. But I am kind of excited about having only one game. I think we just found that Shadowgate VR got a new release date, which is coming this upcoming week, next week. And that is I don't think I have it handy. Is that the 9th? When is that? I do have it handy. It is December 9th, running at 90 frames native. So Shadowgate will be the next game that I queue up for review. And fortunately, I already played a good chunk of it because it was supposed to come out like 2 weeks ago. So that's pretty fortunate. So I think I have a good chunk of that reviewed done. I'm going to take a look and see where I'm at with that. But then it's the week after. We get Zero Caliber. Might as well jump to that, right? Zero Caliber did just announced a few hours before the show that they are finally out of QA. They squashed the last bug that Sony found, and Zero Caliber will be coming to PSVR2 the week after this week. And was it the 15th? See, I have this available too, but I got to find it. no, sorry, December 12th, launching with single player, 4-player co-op campaign, 8-player PvP modes, and zombies, which is really exciting because, man, I don't know. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like it has been too long. No, is this I don't know what this is. Is this the right video? This might be the right video. Yeah, we'll do that. It's been too long since we've had a game where we run around and shoot each other in the face. I mean, I know we've had games like it, right? But I don't think too many of them were, really stuck, had the staying power that this one might have. And so I'm really hoping that this one does. I feel like Breachers came and went so fast. I don't know if anyone was just. Wait, Polish Paul says, sorry to break it to you. Zero Caliber is the same week as Shadowgate? Wait, really? Is that true? Hold on. Next week is... Hold on a second. I got this right. Wait, so hold on. Next week is the 9th. Damn it, Paul. You got to ruin everything. It's true. Okay, so next week is Zero Caliber and Shadowgate, which, all right, that's not ideal. Not ideal. But it'll do. And in fact, I got to be honest, like I am going to take a week or two off at the end of December. And so kind of just, it sounds bad to say it this way, but to kind of get these games out of the way so I can focus on making a big video for December and then take a couple weeks off. Because I really, you guys know, I really want to make like a top 25, top 50, something along those lines list. Something for all those new PSVR2 gamers out there, because there's so many of them, right? They're walking through the door every single day on Without Parole. And I just want something that's up to date, because our last top 25 or top 30 or whatever the hell it was, ultimate top 30 list months ago, right? Was it like 6 months ago or something along those lines? And so that's that it's outdated. It's outdated. Practically every single game that's come out in the last month is going to show up on the next list. You can call it recency bias, you can call it whatever you want to, but we got some fucking bangers in the last couple months. Yeah, Tatum says, I'm excited for Zero Caliber. I just hope they utilize all the PSVR features. Yeah. Agreed. I feel like I have not been in touch with these guys that much, just here and there, and so I don't know what frame rate it's running at. I don't know if they're using DFR. I feel like they talked about all this stuff like months ago, and it's just been so long and that I already forgot. And so I'm sure Polish Paul will tell us in the chat. It'll be great. Salvador with the level 3 membership says, this is like the advent calendar of Gamescast Live. Check in to see what co-hosts you get. This is the best one yet, Friday. Thank you. Everyone talks about who their favorite host on PSVR Without Parole is. It's so seldom me. So, and then Pia Trek with the level 2 membership says, bring Polish Paul to show. I would, but then, you don't understand half of what anybody was saying around here. I just couldn't do that to you guys. I just couldn't do it to you. But if Polish Paul wants to have me on his show, that's probably still a no. Oh, man. All right. Well, this has been fun. I have no idea what we're going to talk about today. Actually, I do know what we're going to talk about. We have so much. So let's figure this shit out. As I don't really want to start off on a somber note, but again, in an effort to kind of get some stuff out of the way, as we were saying, we're going to kick it over to, well, we're not actually going to kick it over to Max, but that is the video he posted. This is the gentleman from Tunermaxx, and this all relates to a viewer takeover question we got from Jeremy, the NES rookie. And remember, guys, you can get your viewer takeover question on the show, not spend a single penny, by going to our Discord and leaving your question in the viewer takeover channel, just like Jeremy the NES rookie did. He says, RIP PSVR support for the devs behind Snow Scout, 90s Extreme Skiing, and Rainbow Reactor Fusion, Tunermaxx. Their Unity license and PS5 dev kit loan has run out, and they need to pay to keep both. Sadly, they ain't making money to fund it. Apparently, Sony has an initiative where they would essentially loan PSVR2 dev kits for free, but due to a new policy change, they're now remotely deactivating them unless you pay. What are your thoughts on this, and do you think this change will drive away smaller developers for PSVR2? This is rough, right? This is rough because Tunermaxx, staunch supporter of PSVR2. I don't know what staunch means either, but I always use it before the word supporter. Probably means big. I could be president. And it's just sad, man. It's just sad because, Rainbow Reactor Fusion, came to PSVR2. It did okay. I was actually just talking to Callie, and if you are watching this, man, I apologize. I asked him like a 1-sentence question in a DM, and he responded with like this much information, and I was like, oh my god, I don't have time to read through all this. And so it's one of those where if you've ever sent me a DM and I respond to you a week later, that's why, because I always look at the message and go, oh, this is important, I'll get back to this, and then like I forget, and then I spend an entire day just responding to DMs. So my apologies, Kelly. He told me that Rainbow Reactor Fusion sold similarly on Steam and PSVR2, but it outsold both of those on Quest by a very, very wide margin. And so we're trying to keep track of all these things, right? I keep reaching out to developers and finding out how their games sold on PSVR2 compared to other platforms. And so, so with Rainbow Reactor, I don't know if you'd say it underperformed or not, if it was matching Steam sales, but it certainly didn't match Quest sales. And then Snow Scout sold way, way better on PSVR2 than it did on Steam. So, the thing is his support for PSVR2 was great. But I do think more than anything, it sirens on my end. It speaks to just the state of the VR industry. These developers. I don't have exact numbers for his game, so I want to make it clear that like I'm not relaying numbers to you guys that he told me. I don't have that. So when I throw out random numbers, I'm throwing out actual random numbers. But like some developers are totally fine. These sirens are getting louder. Totally fine. They have this number in their head. They're like, oh, if I sell 10,000 copies of our game, then great, we'll be fine. We can make another game. But obviously, Tunermaxx just wasn't selling the number of copies they wanted to sell for their games, and it really sucked because some of these games were really great. Rainbow Reactor Fusion had a couple things I think that could have made it way better. Snow Scout, I think just it felt it's great. It's great. It's like this cozy skiing lodge simulator type thing. Right, but I think a lot of people experience bugs at first, and so it might have gotten like a bad reputation before people even get around to trying it. And then there's 90s Extreme Skiing, which I didn't even enjoy that much until the multiplayer update, and then playing it with friends and like flying down the slopes and punching each other out was such a great time. And so I wouldn't call it a series of mishaps by any stretch. This is just the game industry. Games don't launch the way that they end up being. But unfortunately, when there's so few VR gamers out there, there's only so much you can do. And so, what Kelly told me was that, as far as PSVR2 is leaving it for now. And, and I think that there's a lot of people out there who are just kind of patiently waiting and keeping their eyes on PSVR2. I mean, like, what's going to happen? Is this thing blowing up? Is this thing just sort of stagnating? And when is the right time to release our game on it? When would be the right time to come back to it? And so I think he's now joined that group. But it's a sad situation no matter how much, no matter how much it sucks. It's just nothing you can do about it. So, oh, Nick says he had a ton of bugs in Rainbow Reactor. Yeah, I think the things that popped up to me, I actually forget it. I don't want to just sit here and turn this into a time to criticize Tunermaxx games. So I'm going to backtrack on everything I was about to say. Mako XL with Canadian $2 says can't support garbage games to prop up a platform. All right. I'm not sure if I know what that means. It is surprising how many great games we get on PSVR2. Right? I think everybody's definition of what garbage means is different. Right? Certainly people who are not getting the games that they want. But, you know, other than the shovelware games, I don't know if we've seen any, like, real garbage. Even, bro, even Thief. I didn't want to talk about Thief today, but I'm gonna talk about Thief today. This is just a stream of consciousness stream now. That's what this turned into. Thief isn't awesome, right? Thief's not an 8 out of 10, 9 out of 10 game. Thief's fine, right? But I had fun with it. And I think I learned last night how many people just jump to my review score and go, bah, crap. Which, by the way, I don't think a 6 out of 10 is crap. I think 6 out of 10, there's a lot of games in the 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10 range that like are good games, right? So it was very, I think it was enlightening last night to find out people who just don't watch the review. But if you watch the review, I think I said a lot of nice things about Thief, right? It's the kind of game that like you will still enjoy, I think, or at least I still enjoyed, despite just like a laundry list of issues. And so when like half of the review was me complaining about things, but then I had to finish off and be like, however, right? Because it's a critical review. I'm not just there. Like no one paid me to do it. No one sponsored me, right? There's not a affiliate link in my description. I'm being critical, so you guys can make the decision based on everything I say, whether it's right for you or not, right? And I think a lot of people are like, oh, 6 out of 10, he's telling us not to buy it. I'm like, I don't think that's true. I think most people will enjoy Thief, but you've got to be aware of all of the issues, know what you're walking into. So, yeah, Mako XL with another Canadian $2 tip says, support the good ones, not Thief. Again, I think Thief is good. And I really, really hope that with a bunch of patches, Thief can get even better. Because, yeah, I think they put the price at $30. They give us 10% pre-order discount. Yeah, I think they're being relatively fair about it. So, yeah, Thief is. Patty Cake said, I watched the whole thing and still thought, crap. Totally. More sirens on my end. Totally valid. Right? I think there are things that some people can tolerate and some people can't. And I think I'm a very tolerant person when it comes to games because I just love games. Right? That's why I do this. And that is absolutely why. That's why I'm so willing to play games that are outside my wheelhouse, right? I spent a couple hours with Thief on PSVR. A couple hours with Thief on PlayStation 4, right? The game that everyone said, "Oh, this is not a great Thief game," but I've never played the original trilogy, so I was going in blind, right? And I think sometimes that's maybe not a good idea. I always try to prepare as much as possible, like know what I'm getting into. Right? I always kind of hate it when what was I watching last night? I think GameSack in My Life in Gaming put together a documentary about Electronic Gaming Monthly. And EGM has always been my favorite magazine. Like growing up, EGM was just my absolute favorite thing to read. The day that Electronic Gaming Monthly would show up in the mail was just, I was thrilled, right? Because this is pre-internet. Or maybe, I mean, the internet was probably around during a good chunk of it, but you weren't getting your video game news from IGN yet, not really. And so when an Electronic Gaming Monthly would show up in the mail, it was just man, the greatest thing ever, right? And I would just scour it from cover to cover and read every single thing. But I'd start and just read the articles I was interested in, and then read the reviews of the games that I was curious about. And then as soon as I was done that, as soon as I made it from cover to cover, reading the interesting things, then I started reading about the stuff that I didn't care so much about, right? And so, because I just wanted to know everything about games. And so Electronic Gaming Monthly was so special to me. And so this documentary that GameSack and My Life in Gaming put out was just, to me, it was awesome. Because it was a great inside look at the people who made that magazine. And I swear, it's the weave. It's one of the guys said something along the lines of, I always hated reviewing Game Boy games because the original Game Boy hardware was terrible and it sucked playing games on it. And so he's like, I always gave those games bad scores because I hated playing on the Game Boy. And so he wasn't reviewing he wasn't reviewing the game so much as the hardware, like every single time. This is actually the same problem I have with uploads sometimes, right? Because they did similar stuff during the PSVR1 generation, right? Always find a way to criticize PSVR1 when you're talking to say, hey, we're talking about the game, right? So this relates because it's like, well, maybe EGM, maybe you shouldn't give the guy who doesn't like Game Boy games to review. But without Parole, I'm the only one here. It's me or Tornado. Like, these are your two options for reviewers, and I guarantee you, she's not going to keep the headset on very long. So it's car horn. Somebody's just like, is it you done? You good? Okay. And so it's I don't know. I just find myself in these precarious situations all the time where it's like, well, maybe I shouldn't be the one reviewing Thief. But there's got to be a lot of people out there who are like, I've never played a Thief game either. Or maybe they've only dabbled with the PS4 version as well. And I'm the guy for them, right? Maybe I'm the guy that this review will resonate with those people who say, I've never played a Thief game either. Maybe this is a good entryway. Maybe this is a good entry point. You know what I mean? And so, so I do find myself in this situation a lot. But what I keep finding is that, like, man, despite my ignorance on certain topics, I still find myself loving games that I didn't think I would love. And and maybe one day we'll have a crew of editors, a review crew. But until then, this channel is just my opinion, as people were very, quick to point out. But that's what Without Parole is. It's one person's opinion, and one person's opinion is always going to be from a very specific standpoint. So I don't know. That was a long rabbit hole to go down, and I don't know if I actually came to any conclusions or anything, but I will say that I absolutely appreciate that people care what I think about games. I don't know. I guess maybe I've just played a lot of games, or I don't know what I've done to get into this position, but thank you. I want people to know that, like, as I've said many times on GamesCast, I'm not sitting up here and being like, well, I'm deciding what's good and what's bad. It's like, I don't know, man. I'm just like all of you guys, I'm just trying to help everyone out to some degree, like kind of push everyone in the right direction and say, hey, maybe this is for you, maybe it's not, but I definitely don't think my reviews are the be all end all by any stretch. Wait, Jobidar, I did 2 reviews of Polybius. I've re-reviewed that game. Was that still not good enough for you? Oh, man. Anyway. This is turned into an interesting stream. We had so much to talk about, and I'm already, like, just so off the rails. It's not even funny. All right. Here, we're going to go back to full screen and we're going to go check out what the big sellers of last month were. Guys, I mean, seriously, November was crazy. November was crazy for PSVR2 games, right? I mean, like, just probably the craziest month that, as far as I'm concerned, VR's ever had. Right? And so many of those games were incredible. And I got to be honest, when I saw the list of the top 10 PSVR2 required games, also it's top 10 VR2 required games. They don't even put the PS in there now, right? It's bad enough there was a space, and now there's just no PS. It's just VR2. Is this how long has it been like this? Anyway, I think this is such an eye opener, because we saw that we spent so much time on Monday talking about this, but so I won't spend longer than we have to. But we saw the developers of Sweet Surrender, Salmi Games, talk about how they only sold like 200 or 300 copies of Sweet Surrender on PSVR2 during their launch month. And bro, look at this top 10 list of games that sold best on PSVR2 last month. There's almost no new games on this list, and I think this is a better insight into what happened with the launch of Sweet Surrender than anything else, and any other than any other variable, right? Variable? No. Metric. Than any other metric. Because look at what we have here, right? Pistol Whip at 10, Among Us VR at 9, Walking Dead Saints and Sinners 8, Switchback at 7, V-Racer Hoverbike at 6, the only new game on the list. It's the only new game on the list. Job Simulator 5, Metro Awakening 4, Arizona Sunshine Remake 3, Beat Saber 2, Alien Rogue Incursion VR number 1. These are all sale games. That's what people were buying. That's what people were buying in November, in the month of the craziest quantity and quality of new VR games possibly in the history of all mankind. This is what sold the most. And I think that's such a good insight. That is such a good insight. There are so many games on PSVR 2 that I think when you see like this deluge of new game after new game after new game after new game, and you go to the PlayStation store and you say, oh shit, Alien Rogue Incursion's only $20 now? That, to me, tells me something. Maybe it's that customers are wisening up and saying, listen, there's too many games. There's too many games to buy. The market is saturated. Right? And so why would you race to buy a game day one or week one or month one when you could hold off 6 months, 8 months, a year and get it for half price, 60% off? And it will be better. So your first experience is better, right? There's so many reasons. Like, so this actually clues me into the fact that, like, hey, I actually think that Sweet Surrender is going to be just fine, right? I think they're probably going to drop their price down to like $15, and then over the course of the next couple of years, you know, it'll go on sale for $10 and $12 or whatever, and I think they're going to be fine, right? Because their game will sell way better this time next year than it will right now. And I think that goes for all of the games that came out this month. Dude, how is Rush VR not on this chart? Right? The game that we wanted from the Binary Mill. The game. Thank you. Patty Cakes in the chat saying the exact same thing. Thank you. Released it at $20 to make sure it was affordable to everyone. Make sure that no one had to wait for a sale. And they delivered the game that we all fucking wanted from them. Right? We're like, oh yeah, Into Black, this is so good. Right? Oh, thank you, Gun Club, wonderful, great port. Resist, incredible. Actually, Resist might be my favorite game from them. I don't know. Just bonkers. I thought, I really, really thought that they were going to say, they were like, oh, $20, and they like, you know, undercut everybody else price-wise, and it was just going to be number one. It's like the only wingsuit racing game in VR. And so this tells you everything you need to know, right? People will buy Rush next year. Oh man, yeah. And listen, like I said, I don't blame anybody. I am 100% not telling people they should buy games at launch, because games at launch notoriously are broken or buggy, or they have issues, or they don't run at a great frame rate or the resolution, or they don't have DFR implemented as well as we want it to, right? So like, why would you buy Ghost Town today? Because maybe in a couple months, Fireproof will listen to us and they'll up the resolution and the focal point of DFR, which, by the way, good reminder, when you beg for DFR support in games, remember what you're begging for, because it sounds like DFR is actually in Ghost Town, but it's just not used very well, right? You can increase the resolution in the focal point. You can decrease the resolution in your peripheral, right? Remember talking to the Lies and Rain devs before all of this? Remember when they were first talking about bringing it to PSVR2, and they were like, what does everybody prefer? And we're like, fuck the social screen. Who cares what the social screen looks like with all the, low res shit on the perimeter of the screen? Who cares? As long as it looks razor sharp in the headset. And it's like, some Fireproof didn't get the message on that, right? Because the social screen looks wonderful. And so they used the bare minimum of DFR in Ghost Town. So remember, when we tell people we want DFR, it's not good enough for them to just turn it on. We want them to like actually utilize it properly and really, really make that game as sharp as possible. How many rants am I going to go on today? But okay, well, shout out to V-Racer Hoverbike. Congrats, Vertex Breakers. Congrats, Flat to VR. This is a game that we were insanely excited about. Sometimes these stealth drops don't always pan out. But man, everybody was here. We had over 1,000 people watching on PSVR2 Day, which is amazing. Those aren't the kind of numbers we see that often these days. I think we saw them like during when I was live streaming Five Nights at Freddy's on PSVR 1, the first one, and live streaming Saints and Sinners, the first one, right? Because these were big games we were waiting for on PSVR 1. It's like, I think half people watching watch me play Five Nights weren't even VR gamers. They were just Five Nights fans being like, let's go harass this guy who's playing Five Nights at Freddy's for the first time. He doesn't know who Balloon Kid is. I just made up Balloon Kid. Isn't that a Nintendo character? Balloon Boy? Bro, I should definitely know more Five Nights at Freddy's characters by now. Chica? This isn't going well. Freddy Fazbear. That's the big one. Oh man, somebody's gonna clip this and be like, and cancel me. Anyway, it is good to see some of these games make an appearance, right? I'm glad that Metro Awakening is still selling well. Metro is such a good game. Arizona Remake, I didn't think there was. I don't know if there was a real need for that, but man, it is kind of a classic and it holds up really well. And I think Alien Rogue Incursion finally was the right price and found its audience. So good stuff. Good stuff. Here, you know what? I didn't realize you guys been sending more tips. Let's get back over here and see what's going on, see what you guys are saying. Mako XL with the Canadian $2 tip says, we don't review your reviews, do you? Well, some people review my reviews. But listen, I know these are outliers. I love engaging with people who have different opinions than I do. It's just unfortunate that most of the people who express those opinions just want to like argue about a number and don't want to talk details. And so I'm like, then I lose interest. Or they just want to insult me, which is, I don't know. I mean, I do enough of that. I don't need other people doing it. Anthony Wilkins, 8819 with the $5 tip sends. Okay, I'm copying and pasting this. Let's see what happens when I put it. Shiba dog in combat position. Thank you so much. Thank you for the Shiba dog in a combat position. Red Rover, the effing game cat with the $5 tip says, I've watched several reviews of Thief. Then I watched yours. I'm so glad I found your channel way back when. Your reviews are top shelf, above all others. Thank you. All right, I wasn't looking for compliments, you guys. But thank you. I appreciate it. Everyone say goodnight to Polish Paul. but only in Polish. Magic the Game Cat with the €5 says, on the subject of Thief, I don't agree with you, Brian, but I know what you mean. Combat schmombat. Same with Wanderer. Also, nostalgia and stuff. Yeah. I mean, listen, and I think, and I don't know if this part, I don't know if this part of my review went under the radar or something. And maybe I should have elaborated on it more. There was a part where I said, if you take the stealth in Thief more seriously than I do, I think you're going to have a lot of fun, right? Because then it doesn't, then you don't have to engage in combat, right? Then you won't see some of the parts of the game that don't work very well. Because like that parrying stuff was just like, man, it worked at first and then it didn't work. And then it just never worked. And so if I wasn't sneaking up behind guards and just bonking them on the heads, hitting their legs and then bonking them on the heads. How long has this 90s extreme skiing trailer been playing for? Wow. I don't know, man. I see, this is what I need a co-host for. So that while they're talking, I don't have to listen and can instead change trailers. Right. So if you don't engage in the combat stuff, you don't see how bad the combat is, right? And that's why it's and another thing I didn't even address in the review was that there's so much replayability in Thief that like you can go through and not be seen by a single guard. Like I think there are trophies in the game, which by the way, my trophy difficulty, my platinum trophy difficulty rating, wrong. I don't know. When I was reading through that trophy list, I missed something. Because getting through some of those missions without using your bow or your blackjack, it's gonna be crazy fucking hard. And that's definitely one of the trophies or a couple of the trophies. So, yeah, so good luck with that. However, but anyway, so if you love stealth and you're being so stealthy that like you're never even going to alert these guards, and all you're doing is like, wondering what their patrol without Patron, seeing what their patrol patterns are and all that. Like, I think you're just going to enjoy it more than I am if you have more patience than I do. And so I think that might be where the disconnect is for some of the people playing Thief, because they're playing it like legit. Hey, we are playing this as the stealthiest fucking assassin we can play as. And after 30 minutes of that, I'm like, it's the same thing with like Grand Theft Auto, right? Like you're trying to I'm doing the mission and then I'm like, oh, or I could just go kill all these motherfuckers over here, right? Oh, I got a rocket launcher. Let's just destroy everything. I get distracted easily. So, however, if you are looking for a really great stealth game, go check out Vampire: The Masquerade Justice. I think that game is a great stealth game, and it lets you. It's satisfying, right? It's a little more satisfying, I think, because sucking the blood out of victims, way more satisfying than hitting them over the head with a blackjack. So I didn't know what a blackjack was until about 3 days ago. Thank you, Magic. Fucking love you, dude. Right? Like this, you've been around for so long, and I love being able to talk about more sirens on my end. I love being able to talk about games in this way, right? And coming at them from different perspectives, and seeing why people like games that I don't, or why people hate games that I love. Right? I was on the opposite end of the. God, there's a lot of sirens. I was on the opposite end of Lies and Rain. I know it's not a game for everybody, but man, was it a game for me, right? Again, there's a part of me that wants to rename the channel like, this is what Brian thinks of games, right? Because for whatever reason, I think when you have a name like Without Parole, it does kind of give you that feeling of like, this is a group of opinions. These are a lot of people, right? But instead of what it really is, it's just me. It's like, here's what I think of games. I don't know. McDonald S 1986. Bro, hold on. I know who this is. Because I recognize the PFP. Here, I can go to the channel. Lee Bonner. What's up, Lee Bonner? Long time no see. Good seeing your name in the chat here. Thank you for the tip. Says, I fucking love Brookhaven. Love OG PSVR scares. Yo. Markio says, but you have 4 people on your channel. It fits. Yeah, but like, no, none of those guys are reviewing the games, right? It's like, and don't get me wrong, I don't take them for granted in the slightest. I absolutely love AJ, Miles, and whoever that other guy is. And they, and I love that they just volunteer their time. They come over and, share their day with us. And we get to get caught up and learn what they've been playing and find out what they think about games. And again, always so much fun when we disagree. Agreeing about stuff's boring. But those are the only times where we get to hear differing opinions. So I do I appreciate that that's valuable to people, and I think it's valuable too. I don't think I would ever want this channel to be just my opinion, but that is what all of the reviews are. Bitmappy says, "What's your favorite color, Brian?" Growing up, it was green, but it was only green because my brother's favorite color was blue, and I was like, man, blue would have been such a better choice, but I couldn't have the same favorite color as my brother. It's like that's a copycat answer. But now that I'm an adult, black and red. That's why those are the channel colors, right? Whenever you see Without Parole, Gamescast Live, black, white, red, right? It's just so emo. I'm just never going to grow out of that shit. I don't know. Back to Lee Bonner, though. He says, I fucking love Brookhaven. OG PSVR scares. Hell yeah. Guys, let's talk. There's so much we could talk about, but you know what? We got to make sure we at least cover the main stuff. So today, Phosphor Games revealed, after the people in my Discord discovered it 24 hours ago, their new game coming to Steam, Quest, and PSVR2, and it is called Automa. Automa. It doesn't roll off the tongue. I always want to say Automata, because of Nier Automata. And I think when you search Automa, way too much other shit shows up. People in my Discord were saying maybe they should add like a subtitle, right? Like Automa, the cyberpunk prophecy. That's not good. That's not good, but that's the idea we're going for here. So let's we'll bring up the that's not going to help us at all. That's going to help us. This is the official trailer, and the official trailer looks so much better than the gameplay footage I have for you guys, because you might remember about 3 months ago, I told you that I played a game that was unannounced, and I played it on my Quest. I told you guys that it was coming to PSVR2 in 2026. Actually, I don't know. We shouldn't say 2026, right? We don't actually know when it's coming to PSVR2. And I was kind of blown away by it. And I was just saying the future looks bright. This is that game. I have it on my Quest, which is always just within reach. Oh, you can hear the game. When I picked it up, it started playing again. This is what the game sounds like, guys. Can you hear it? That's what the game sounds like. Okay, stop that. Turn off. I just have to prove that I have a Quest at all times, because then people won't call me a shill anymore. Stop. Turn off. This is that game, and I got to tell you guys something. There's just something very special about this. Okay, I'll get it turned off, and I've only played the first 20 minutes of the game. Right, it's sort of a demo that they kind of made a vertical slice out of, and it's so weird, right? Because this is way too inside baseball. This is way too inside baseball, but I'm gonna tell you anyway. I was in the middle of this will put things in perspective. It was a month and a half ago, when I was reviewing Of Lies and Rain, and I think it was the day before the Of Lies and Rain review went live. And I was playing this game, and in my head I went, This is so much better than the Lies and Rain, right? And it was similar, like this similar concept where it's this cautionary tale about AI, but it was a completely different type of world. This world, yes, thank you. Red Rover says it looks like Alex. That's obviously what they're going for, right? They were saying standalone VR has come so far since in the last 6 years that they really were like, we could totally do something similar to Alex on standalone, and so that was the original plan. and it looks kind of stunning, you guys. Like even on the Quest in this alpha stage, right? This trailer is not lying. Here, okay, listen. I'm gonna bring up my footage of this, and I gotta warn you. I played it in this chair, right here. Okay, and so I kept hitting this microphone. I kept hitting the armrests on my chair. Anytime I reached forward, I kept hitting my computer and my keyboard and all that. Right, so I'm playing very weird. My hands are doing weird things because I'm trying to make subtle movements instead of sudden movements. And so I just didn't get up and make space for it, because I almost always play VR standing up, like over there, like in the middle of my living room on the other side of this computer. And so this footage is fucking wonky, dude. Also, I am casting it to my PC and then capturing it with OBS. And so the frame rate, first of all, is going to look terrible. My interactions are going to look fucking weird. And I think just the overall quality it doesn't look great. However, it will give you a little bit of a better idea of what the actual demo plays like. Here, is this it? Yeah, I told you, frame rate, right? And this is all because I'm casting it to my PC. However, like I said, this. Whereas Of Lies and Rain is telling a story about a very similar situation, like AI, taking over and blah blah blah. Of Lies and Rain is so much further in the future, right? And all the environments are like kind of stark and sterile and almost clean. Even when things are messy, they look clean, right? This looks lived in. This looks like, what if AI took over tomorrow? It's actually like, what if AI took over like in the 1980s, because look at this technology, right? And I kind of love this like analog future type thing, where it's why there are these 5.25 inch disk drives attached to this Tandy computer of some kind with a CRT television, right? But then there's also these holograms coming out of the things you're picking up, right? And so it's clearly futuristic in some regards, but it's also stuck in the past. And I always love that. Like it's the aliens thing, right? What is it? Is that analog future? What do they call that? There's a term for it. But look how lived in this place looks, right? And I just kind of prefer this to what Of Lies and Rain has going on. And I loved Of Lies and Rain. Sirens on My End again. And look how interactive everything is, right? And like and lived in, and the tears in that chair, and the tears in the leather, and the cushioning coming out of it, right? Such a simple thing that most people are just going to ignore. But the fact that you can move it, the fact that it looks that detailed, is actually really, really impressive. Right? You can interact with these computers, and so much of what I've played so far is not. It's not like this, action game. It's like I wouldn't want to call it an escape room game, right? Because like there's clearly combat in it, but I was locked in this room until I found the solution. Solution incoming, by the way. So cover your eyes if you think you're gonna remember this in 8 months or however long it's gonna take us to get the PSVR2 port. But the world it looks great, even on Quest, on standalone. And it's great that you can interact with all this stuff. And and you do find weapons eventually, of course. But I am trying to be patient here, because this retrofuturism, that's what it is, retrofuturism. Why did I have analog in my head? Analog? Just making shit up, I guess. Anyway, there is a point in this footage where you get outside, and they did show some of this in the trailer, and it's just so impressive. It's so impressive. And the fact that it's running on Quest 3 currently in this alpha stage, right, where it's not even complete, where it likely will look even better, but like everything is moving. There are flags that are just waving, these banners that kind of crisscross the streets that are all moving as well. And you just look down on the streets, and there are people like standing there, and they're all animating. And Shapeshifter says like, I'll remember it in a year, bro. I this is the second time I've played this demo, and I didn't remember it from a month ago. So cassette futurism, is that what I was thinking? Okay, there's all sorts of shit going on here. Retro punk, I don't think that's a thing. It might be a thing. We should make it a thing. Let's just start renaming all the genres. And people are like, why are you calling it that? That's without parole. Anyway. So, but what I love is that this is Phosphor Games. These are the guys that brought us Brookhaven Experiment. And there's nothing wrong with Brookhaven, as Lee Bonner just told us. Brookhaven was great. We love Brookhaven. It was a launch title on PSVR2. Nope, PSVR1. Hey, it got us, and it was super challenging. It was a lot of fun. The environments were great, right? But it was a stationary wave shooter. Told a good story. And it was the beginning of like that wave shooter just epidemic that we had, right? And so I think eventually you get to a point where you're just like, oh, we have too many fucking wave shooters, and you almost roll your eyes when you think about Brookhaven, because although it's an amazing game, now it's suddenly in that wave shooter category where it's like we just got too many of these, too much. And then they went radio silent for ever. I mean, this was 2016 when we got Brookhaven, and it's literally going to be 2026 in less than a month. So, with little exception, these guys went radio silent for a decade. And I don't know exactly what they were doing for that entire decade, but look how they leveled up, right? You do not see these kind of interactions in most VR games. You don't see this VRAF stuff, right? Where you can just pick up everything, throw everything. You don't see this level of detail in every VR game, right? This is the kind of stuff that I wish Vertigo games was doing more of, right? As much as I love Metro, it's like, man, like just stepping outside would have been nice, right? Just seeing a little bit more of this attention to detail. All these items being more interactive. Right? It's the stuff you'd expect from Vertigo, but that you wouldn't expect from Phosphor Games, who brought us the Brookhaven Experiment, right? But just look at how, like, I don't know, man. I just, maybe it's the art style or the art direction, but I think what they did with these exterior segments are just stunning. And with any luck, I'll fucking stand up and show you. And the right analog stick does the gradual crouch, just like it Flies in the Rain. I mean, look at the movement, the birds flying, right? And you know, and it's not just a JPEG plastered across the skybox. It just that fog is volumetric. These guys are doing something very, very impressive. Thank you, World of Long Plays. Very, very impressive on a standalone headset. And they've been paying attention to the channel. They've been paying attention to Without Parole, which I did not think these guys either still existed, and I certainly didn't think that they'd be hanging around the Without Parole channel or Without Parole Discord. But they have been. And they posted in our Discord today that it's because of you guys that this is happening on PSVR2. It's because of your love of the platform. It's because of your passion that we're getting this. Right? It's the kind of excitement about games that other headsets don't share. Right? There's just not that unified community who are just excited about games that people should be excited about. So, this goes on for a while. And there's a lot of stuff that could be cleaned up, and a lot of stuff that is going to look janky. And I really do hope that they, take their time and polish this thing up. But like, I was just kind of floored by how good it looked, and how, and I was kind of expecting to just jump in and have them give me a gun and start shooting shit. I don't know, because Brookhaven, I guess, because Brookhaven. Instead, it's how do you get out of this first room? Okay, well, where do we go next? Oh, how do we get through the second room? Right, and then and it's not till like really late in the demo, about 20 minutes in, that they start giving you weapons. They give you a handgun and assault rifle of some kind, somewhat futuristic, right? But and then you start killing shit, and the combat's okay. right? But it's the kind of thing that I think it's about as good as it's going to be on Quest. But if they dial up the haptics and you have trigger support, I think the combat's going to feel great on PSVR 2. So I'm really, really curious to see where all this goes. I really am. I don't know. You know, I'm judging it based on the first 20 minutes of the game, and you know, I've asked them like, hey, what are you guys targeting on PSVR 2? You know, as far as frame rate goes, and I said because obviously the cats would love to have you be targeting 90 frames native, right? It's I think it's 90 native on Quest, or at least that's what they're targeting for Quest 3. And so, you know, it already looks pretty good. So with a little bit of DFR, some blacker blacks, adaptive trigger support, headset rumble, right? I mean, I think we could be seeing a very, very, very special game here on PSVR 2. And this is why I'm already excited about 2026. So I'm gonna let this run over here in the corner. If anybody's got questions about it, feel free to throw them in the chat. Hopefully I don't overlook your question. Shit, man, I gotta scroll back. You guys being crazy generous today. Here, let's go over here. Emmanuel Bose with $5 says, "Happy holidays, Game Cats." Happy holidays to you too. I feel like we get the second worst one of the year over with. now we just need to get the worst one of the year over with. Emmanuel Bose sent 1 without Parole gift membership. Thank you for your generosity. Awesome Tatum sent 5 without Parole gift memberships. Thank you for your generosity. I think we've finally learned that A540678 is son WTF with 5 without Parole gift memberships. Turn the whole chat green, you guys. A whole chat green. Ace Gamer Cat with the 1337 says, "Come chill with us for some 90s extreme skiing on Saturday and the new walkabout course on Sunday. 2 p.m. Eastern. Join the Discord for details. Now let's talk about Legendary Tales." Well, if you say so. Yeah, guys. If you don't watch PSVR this week, then you wouldn't know. But over on our Discord, PSVR2 gamers get together every Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, and every Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern. They vote on what games to play over the course of the week, and then they play those games over the weekend. Listen, if you haven't bought 90s Extreme Skiing yet, I think it would be a great farewell to Tunermaxx. Right? Really nice thing to everybody. I think it's like $8 if you have Plus, or $10 if you don't have Plus, which I guess to be able to play the multiplayer, you have to have Plus. So it'd be a really great farewell for everyone to pick up 90s Extreme Skiing. Come join us over on the Discord on Saturday and play 90s Extreme Skiing together. But I got to tell you, I have not checked out the Alice's Adventures in Wonderland DLC yet for Walkabout. I just haven't had time. It's been a crazy week, but I am excited to, because I have been loving Walkabout. It's Grey, Grumpy Williams, as far as I'm concerned. Grey. Thank you, Ace Gamer Cat. Everybody, come join Discord. Come play PSVR2 games with us. Oh yeah, man, I struggled to get this fucking can of cat food open. Anthony Wilkins with the level 2 membership says, "We all love what you do, Brian. Always great reviews and shows." Hey, what did I say about compliments? Keep them coming. That's what I said. No. Oh, I was trying to figure out what you were saying here, Wally. Wally's now a GameCast, specifically White Tiger with the Canadian $2 tip. Says, "Got to check with Survios about sales. They top often." No jokes. Yeah. The fact that Alien Rogue Incursion is so high up there, the fact that Creed Rise to Glory has been up on top of the PSVR 1 and PSVR 2 sales charts numerous times. I would love to find out from them how well their games sell on PSVR 2 compared to Quest in Steam, because we know that being number one on the sales charts doesn't actually mean anything, right? It doesn't mean, oh, they're just blowing the competition out of the water. They're blowing Steam sales out of the water. No, sometimes people on the number one on the PSVR2 sales charts still didn't sell all that well, right? So I will send them an email. They might be a little bit too big, a little too corporate for them to respond to me. I don't know if they're the kind of people that would be like, oh, we'll share some numbers with you. Because some people, dude, bro, I mean, you saw Monday's show. Some people were like, oh, our game sold 7,500, 201 copies. 7,502, that's not a real number. Right, but they were giving me exact numbers. And some people were like, Sony doesn't want us to share numbers with you. And I was like, that's fine. Right? But like ratios is what we're looking for. So just trying to figure out how much more. Mako XL with a Canadian $2 tip says, review me or others as a game cat. LMFAO. Review you or others as a game cat? I mean, do you want a number score? You're all 10 out of 10s. I can't pick my favorite child. Okay, you're all 9 out of 10s. Tornado's a 10 out of 10. That's how it's going to have to go. Sorry. Tornado's the best. Grandpa's Barbecue Game Cat with the Australian $2 tip says, Brian, take a breath and drink. Was I going on a rant when that came through? Was I just ranting and just not breathing? I mean, it happens. But I'm more than happy to drink. I've been watering down the coffee all day, and so this is becoming more water than coffee, but yeah, Looper, Tornado is probably an 11, right? Turn that shit up. Stuart Montgomery with the £3 says, I got to copy and paste it. We'll see what happens. A post-it note with the text, I'll be back, appearing on it. Oh. Okay. Letting people know when you're coming and going. That's good. We hate to be like, where's Stuart? And have just no answer. We'd be like, oh shit, Stuart's dead. The NES rookie with the New Zealand $5 tip says, I would love to know how Island Time sold on PSVR versus Quest. I'm wondering if appealing to PSVR gamers by having Greg Miller helped. Oh, that's right. I forgot that he was the voice of Carl the Crab on Island Time. Very true. Man, I'd love to know how Island Time sold. I feel like it was kind of the perfect game for PSVR 1, but like by the time I got to PSVR 2, it's like, did people care? I don't know. I'm also going to go back to full screen because we're back outside in Automa, and we've finally got a weapon. I don't shoot the bird. Don't worry, I don't shoot the bird. But look at that flag waving, right? Look at the detail on these buildings. How they're all look pretty realistic, and how it's not just fog, above the ground, right? There's actually a ground and actually a lot of detail on the ground. But I think it looks fantastic. Oh, there he goes. I was waiting for a drone to come by so I could shoot it. Yeah. All right. We got to keep moving here because we still have more to talk about. Who said it earlier? Somebody said, let's talk about the Legendary Tales DLC. Yeah, Ace Gamer Cat said, now let's talk about Legendary Tales. Let's do it. Guys, it's been almost 2 years since Legendary Tales came out on PSVR 2. Like, that's a long time, right? And so I don't know, we'd always been kind of hearing behind the scenes that BJ over there at Urban Wolf Games was working on DLC. Like, we'd heard this for a little bit. I think he hinted at it publicly. But it is just kind of crazy when it actually happens, right? And you actually see the evidence of said DLC. So this DLC pack is massive, and we're starting to understand why it took so long for it to get here. First of all, the game's going to be discounted. it's and not a temporary discount. It's going to permanently drop in price from $55 to $40. And if I'm being honest, which I try to be, I do think that $40 is probably the right price for the game to begin with. There was a ton of content in there, so I feel bad for saying that, but maybe the right price for it to have sold really well would have been $40. But again, I got so many hours out of this game, and the fact that you get so many different types of so many different types of builds and you can experience the game in so many different ways. It's built for replayability, and I've had a blast with this game. Single player, multiplayer, doesn't matter. I've loved it all. And then he announces Dawn of History DLC, which is this trailer here, and I'm gonna read through it, man. I'm gonna read through it fast, but I'm a little bit shocked by how big this thing is. The DLC Dawn of History includes the following major content: 7 new maps total, including 4 dungeons. 3 dungeons are roughly the same size as the base game Abbey dungeon. 1 big field contains 3 mini dungeons, totaling about twice the size of the Abbey. Since most base game dungeons were 50 to 70%. Okay, I don't even know what that means. Oh, okay. Since most base game dungeons were 50 to 70% of the size of the Abbey, the total dungeon volume of the DLC is about 70% of the base game. Right? So not quite doubling how big the original game is with this piece of DLC. It's got 2 new boss arenas, several new mini game rooms. Those were always hidden. Those were fun to find. 19 new enemy types. 6 with entirely new visual models. 12 new types of champion enemies. 2 new bosses. 2 new weapon types, books and staves. A new accessory with the ring. 16 types of new legendary weapons. New weapon feature. The seal system with 14 seals weapons, including legendaries, now have 0 to 4 seal sockets randomly generated. You can insert various seals into these sockets to grant additional magical properties. This reminded me of Final Fantasy VII. And probably a million other games that I'm just not thinking of right now. Depending on the seal combinations, completely new variations of equipment may emerge. There's 36 total seal combinations. There are 53 total new skills. 10 new magic spells. 11 new intelligence-based skills. A brand new priest sector featuring 12 new skills. The maximum player level is increased to 60. I believe it was 50 before this. And then several improvements will be applied to not only the DLC, but also the base game. The player movement speed will be increased by approximately 60%. Hope Nick's happy. Complete stat system overhaul. And just a bunch of other stuff, man. A bunch of other stuff. I don't want to bore you guys, but there's just a lot of things that we were asking for. Players can now freely allocate stat points however they wish, so you can respec your character, which is nice. Because sometimes you feel like you might maybe have gone down, the wrong path. I did this in Final Fantasy X. Remember the sphere grid in Final Fantasy X? I went down the wrong path in the sphere grid. 60 hours in, I realized that I was so far from where I needed to be on that fucking sphere grid. And I don't think you can respec, or at least you couldn't on the original Final Fantasy X on PS2. And I was like, and I realized this is going to take me another 60 hours of grinding just to get where I need to be. And so, yeah, I agree with everyone in the chat who thinks that the respec stuff is really important. I never beat Final Fantasy X because of that. I was 2 bosses away from the end. I got to the second to last boss. The penultimate boss, as they say. I don't know who says that. So this is really exciting. This is coming in 2026. Oh, there's a new trailer. Thank you, Fifth. I guess I should probably bring that up, huh? We are talking about exactly that. So let's see. Legendary Tales Abbey trailer. 45 minutes ago. All right, let's go. Copy link address. Let's do this. I haven't watched it. It's 1 minute and 46 seconds long. I'm going to download it. We'll watch it together. All right. Here, I can turn up the volume. And here we go. Just remind me to turn the volume down. And let's switch to the other trailer. Yeah, you got to remind me to turn the volume down because I'll forget and it'll just be running. Here we go. Oops. Let's try that again. What happened? What? Wait, this is their next game? This isn't Legendary Tales? Is this the wrong trailer? This is the wrong trailer. This is the same trailer that was playing before, and I was like, why does this look just like Legendary Tales? Hold on a second. This is why I need a co-host. Here we go. Sorry. What? 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 I'm so confused. It's a hybrid, but in the weirdest way possible? He's in the chat. PJ, fucking clue me in, dude. So also, I couldn't hear any of it just because of the way my setup is. So what? I mean, what do you? Yeah, listen. First of all, I love the look of it. Right, I love the look of it. And as far as like, I want to talk about the first person stuff because I'm very a little bit confused about what's going on here and how it's working. Because this first person stuff here with the whips and the grappling from place to place, that looked incredible. And like Symphony of the Night's one of my favorite games of all time. So like, you know, the whole Castlevania vibe here is crazy. And seeing how agile your character is, you know, being able to do the wall runs, it just feels like such an evolution of the Legendary Tales formula. This looks incredible, but I am, and I think other people in the chat might be with me, very confused by what's happening with the side-scrolling 2D stuff, right? Yeah, the wall run, so cool. Nihilist Ryan says, is this Star Child? Is Star Child finally here? This is so much better than Star Child would ever dream of being. So wait. No. There's no chance in hell. He's just laughing. He's like, we're gonna let them guess. VJ's like, ha, well, like, this is what I love. I mean, listen, we've played. You can understand why I'm confused. Excellent. Well, I also didn't like. Hold on a second. Let me see what this is. Description. This is a pre-production concept trailer featuring pre-alpha gameplay footage. The concept project began with the question: how can we create the perfect hybrid game that works for both VR and flat screen gaming? And as a studio who gave everything they had to VR and probably did not get the love needed to make a VR only follow-up, I completely understand that you'd be interested in trying something different and make sure that you can capitalize on flat screen sales as well. But this looks VR AF. And then also you get this cool 2D stuff going on. AJ's in the chat because my fever is racing right now, but holy fucking shit, Castlevania. This isn't real, AJ. This isn't real. This is a fever dream. This looks like in so many ways kind of a dream come true. Anyway, cool. Listen, we'll get more details on this soon enough. And he said you can think RE4 VR mod. Okay. So listen, I don't want to get too deep in this, okay? But it looks like this looks like a 2.5D game, right? Like we're 3D backgrounds, but you're running on a linear plane, right? You don't have freedom to move in and out of the background. And so part of me is like, I get it. And then you can, but if you play in VR, you'll just be playing it in first person. But then you're not running to the left or right. I have so many questions. And I don't know the answers. But I kind of like not knowing the answers. I think this is a lot of fun. And if that's it, and if that's what this is, if that's like you are also running like on a just think of a straight line, right? You're playing a 2D platformer in first person VR. So interesting. So interesting. So interesting. That's all I got. It's so interesting. I need time to process this. Well, Urban Wolf Games killing it over there. I guess it was maybe not just 2 years working on DLC. Maybe you also bring Legendary Tales to Quest. That's crazy. Superliminal says this is what dreaming looks like. Yeah. Big time. Oh yeah, Grumpy Williams says keep it in side scrolling as in VR is an option as well. Yeah, we played games like this in Dreams. AJ, remember the name of the game? Very much a Castlevania style game. It was 2.5D in Dreams, and we just played it from a side scrolling perspective, and it was amazing. It was great. We want more of that kind of stuff. Urban Wolf Game says we're handling 3 projects at the same time. You guys got a lot going on over there. And we wish you nothing but the best. These guys make quality games and deserve all the success in the world. This is really fucking cool. This is very cool. Fifth with the Australian $2. Thank you for cluing me in that the Legendary Tales Abby Chiller is live. That was very exciting. Mako XL with the Canadian $5 tip says, I haven't put the PSVR2 on since Windlands 2. What should I play now? I want to suit up. Yo, I don't know, man. What are you in the mood for? Disdained. That's what it was. Thank you, AJ. Oh, now let's try and Bloody Zombies. Yeah, with side scrolling too. Yep. It depends what you want to play, Mako. Listen, I mean, you want something super adrenaline packed? Get V Racer Hoverbike. You want to just chill on the couch and put your feet up? Luminous Arise. Want something introspective? A little slower paced? Do some reading? Of Ice and Rain. Lots of good stuff, though. Just go, dude. Go watch all my reviews. Make all that work worthwhile. Oh man, I don't. I don't know what this is. 5,000 South Korean won. I looked it up. Usually we just make shit up. Thank you so much for Urban Wolf Games. He says, watching it? Oh, we watched it, baby. We watched it. We watched it hard. Really exciting. Really exciting. Oh. I don't know where anything is. Okay. All right. I gotta see what we haven't tackled yet on the show. We've actually tackled quite a bit in 2. Oh no, it's only been an hour and a half? Dude, we're killing it. We've packed in so much stuff in 90 minutes already that we're just totally going to ruin it and just make it, just drag out the last half of the show. All right. What else we got here? We got a couple of new games popped up on the PlayStation Store. Shout out, I gotta say a special shout out to Kiznell, who's always finding this stuff. Always finding stuff before anybody else. I think Kiznell found Automa on like the Korean PlayStation Store. Like 24 hours before we were supposed to know about it. I love it. This is what, if you like PSVR2, right? If PSVR2 is something you're really passionate about, you have to be on our Discord, because it is so funny to watch the news, to watch other people post in our news channel, right? Just like, we have eyes everywhere. They're posting, they're on top of it. And then 6 hours later, Wes will DM me with like, hey, have you seen this? And I'm like, yeah, bro, it's like old news. And so, yeah, listen, it is such a great place to hang out. And it's because you guys, such a great group of people. You guys really are the greatest VR community, maybe the best community ever. So thanks for making all my days better. But we're not wrapping this thing up yet. It feels like I'm wrapping shit up, but we're not there yet. We got a couple of new games on the PlayStation Store. So this is one that I normally would just have been like, who the fuck cares? You know what I mean? Who the fuck cares? But shopping stuff. Right, because we have pets and stuff and we have shaven stuff, but this is shopping stuff, and it looks so much better. It looks so much more fun. I know. Where's Emily Baxter going to complain about it's fucking cartoony and all that nonsense, right? But it looks so goofy and so fun, and like it looks like they've made a deeper game, even though it's just still silly, right? You have to stop shoplifters and fix things that are broken and check out customers and restock shelves. I don't know. There's something very appealing about this to me. It does not look like a game that I would normally get excited about, and it might not be a game that I'd get excited about. But there are games like this, especially when they give you lots of great VR mechanics and they let you do really goofy things. The kind of games that like Hide the Corpse, where it's just fucking fun. And so I am kind of excited about this. Hopefully it's good, because it looks really, really fun. Whoever made this trailer, great job. And the other one that appeared on the PlayStation Store, here it goes. It is Death Horizon Reloaded. Now, we were just talking about wave shooters and how on PSVR1 we get really sick of wave shooters. And I'm a little bit concerned about this game, because this is one of those games that I think when it first came to Quest or whatever, it was like, oh, cool, sirens on my end. It was like, whatever, right? But I'm like, hold on a second. Wait a minute. I take it back. Did I not watch this trailer? Did I not watch this trailer? I'm so confused because I thought this was a stationary wave shooter game. But then there's all this climbing and full locomotion, I'm guessing. Okay, I'm looking this up because I don't. I was just concerned. I was like, man, this feels like a game like it's outdated. That like maybe it should have come to PSVR2 years ago, like a launch game type thing. But hold on, I need to know more about this game. It's one player. Okay. Let's bring up the PlayStation Store page. Right here. They do not give us a lot of information to work with. Death Horizon Reloaded is a story-driven zombie shooter built from the ground up for virtual reality. When's the last time you saw a game that didn't say built from the ground up for virtual reality? I mean, I guess hybrid games. Explore dark, abandoned facilities, fight through intense waves of the undead, and uncover the secrets behind the catastrophic outbreak. Use a wide range of realistic weapons, move freely with full VR locomotion, and survive against overwhelming odds. Every corridor is filled with danger. Every encounter demands fast reactions, and every mission pushes your limits. With immersive gunplay, atmospheric environments, and relentless action, Death Horizon Reloaded delivers a classic survival shooter experience designed specifically for VR. Okay, I don't know. I was about to say I wasn't super excited about this, thinking it was a stationary wave shooter, but it's more than that. And there's climbing and exploration. It's back on my radar. Vargosoft in the chat, what's up, dude? Says, I was going to say the OG version was a wave shooter. So there's my confusion. I feel a little bit better, right? I feel a little bit better that I'm not totally in the dark. He says, I'm assuming Reloaded in the title that it's a remake. Probably. So stay tuned. We'll learn more about this game as time goes on. Here's what we're going to do. It's time for the 4-minute challenge. I think we've talked about everything that I want to talk about. Here's how it works. The 4-minute challenge, when there's just me. I play against all of you. However, we got to play on the honor system, okay? There are a lot of you playing simultaneously. You guys ask me questions. I will do my best to answer them rapid fire, right? Just keep throwing them out there. I will answer them as fast as I can, rapid fire. But if you guess the game and you guess it wrong, honor system, you're out. Stop asking questions. Stop guessing games. Okay? You can all guess games. But the second you guess wrong, on your honor, you got to stop. You no longer participate. Okay? Is that fair? Everybody good? There are rules, people, says Scott. And these are the rules I have provided. All right. Good. Anyway, I picked a game. It's fucking super difficult because there's so many of you. Everybody get ready. You've only got 4 minutes, but an infinite number of yes or no questions to figure out what game it is. And remember, if you guess the wrong game, you're out. So I'm going to put the clock up on the counter the way that Jeremy likes it. You can start asking questions now. I'll get to them, I promise. On your mark. Get Des. Go. Nope. Oh, PSVR 1. Yes. Is it single player? Yes. Full locomotion? Yeah. Yeah, that's accurate. Prozac says you're just playing against Looper. Can you control vehicles in the game? Yeah. Is it a PSVR2 exclusive? It's not a PSVR2 game, Silver Nexus. Is there a physical version? I don't think so. I'm going to say no. I think I'm right about that. Is it a horror game? No. Is it a shooter? No. Do you shoot guns? No. Horror genre? No. Puzzles? No, not really. Maybe minuscule amounts of puzzles. Are there cats? No. Is there melee? No. Keep them coming, guys. Is it an experience? I don't think so, but I think there might be people who haven't played it that might put it in the experience category. Just saying. Are there third-person elements? No, I don't believe so. Sports game? No. Is it good? It was okay. It was okay. Is it a rhythm game? No. Is it a puzzle game? No. It might have minuscule puzzles, but not major. Is it a known IP? Not in a sense of like, oh, it's based on a movie or anything like that. Not in the typical way that we usually talk about it. Does it have rally racing in it? No. Ian, what? Is it a collection of minigames? No. Was it a launch game? No. Is it a music game? No. Yes, vehicles. Yes, you're in a you can be in a vehicle. Compatible with classic controller. I want to say, oh god, I have to check the store listing real quick. It is, I believe, you can use the DualShock or the Move controllers. I think those are our control schemes. It's not post-apocalyptic, Waleed. Not, I wouldn't say sci-fi. Looper, you may consider it slightly educational. Mako's wondering if it's a $20 game or less. Yes, it is. Is it a roguelike? No. Rockstar? No, not made by Rockstar. Swinging? No, you don't swing. Did it sell big? I don't know, so probably not. There's no sequels or prequels. Fifth. Is there climbing? No. You can use the moves, Markio. It's not Kona NES Rookie. You are out. You have the option to change camera, perhaps in VR. The visuals are an upgrade for sure. Oh, sorry. He's on Urban Wolf Games. Does it have a platinum? Oh god, I think so, but I couldn't. Sorry. We'll run out of time. It's not Battlezone. Elaine, you're out. Sorry, sirens on my end. Do you make pots? No, Looper. Realistic art style? Yeah, they're going for realism. Does it have a dog in it with questionable moral? No. Are you in a maze, Asshole Darth? No. Do you paint? No. Did Dave Station spam a voice doll based? No. R.I.P. Dave. Love you. Do you do any kind of art? No. Is it a sim type game? I mean, maybe sim-like. Is it a good game? I thought it was okay. Is it set in our world? Yeah, very much. Not Robinson, Mako, you're out. Did I review it? Yes, I did. Is there reading? No, not really. There's some reading, I think. Did they make other PSVR? I don't think so. I don't think they made other games. Is it first person? Yes. Can you play it flat? I don't think so. No. Not a war game. It's not fishing, but you're getting closer. Is it a survival game? No. It's sim-ish. Is it set during the winter? No, Ian. It's not set during the winter. I don't know when it's set during, to be honest. Everybody throw your guesses in. This does not go as well as I planned. I thought we were going to get closer. Can you pet a dog? No, you can't. No, this was a hard one. Are you on a pirate ship? No. You are underwater, Waleed. Last chance to get your guesses in. This was a hard one. This was a really hard one. And so I apologize for ruining the winning streak if we even were on one. I'm just going to tell you what it is. Sorry, guys. Sorry. Coming out November 22nd, 2018 by Immersive VR Education. That's the publisher. I don't know if they're the developer. Is Titanic VR. Is my review. I don't know. They may have made other games. If they did, then I definitely steered you wrong. What just happened there? That's not what we're trying to do. That's also not what I'm trying to do. Is that what I'm trying to do? I think I'm trying to do that. Yep. All right. Well, Freediver. Freediver would actually Freediver and Neptune Flux. Yep. All good choices. Listen, this was a weird one, right? I thought it was really cool that you like took this vessel down into explore the Titanic, and you're on these missions, and it was cool. I don't know. I probably liked it more than other people did. I don't remember. It was a long time ago. Good try, everybody. Corey says, we all need to buy Automa. All game cats unite. Let's hope it's a good game. The demo is really good. And hopefully they'll, really take advantage of the PSVR2 features when they bring it over. I think 2026 is looking really, really good. And so I'm excited for the next year. And I really, really hope there's other studios like Phosphor that are holding back, studios that we've been wondering about, just for a while now. Just be like, hey, what happened to them after they put out their game? Some of them are still kicking. Some of them did well and, have been in hiding making their next game. And some of them made Immortal Legacy. Virgil says, I'm only buying it if Brian gives it a 6 out of 10. That's fair. All right, guys, time to wrap this thing up. 90 native backlog game cat rare with the level 1 membership says, few sirens tonight. Lots of good vibes. Yeah, I agree. This is, there's some sirens for you. I don't know if you can hear those. But, yep. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much for hanging out. This was a good time. You guys all mean the world to me. Thank you for allowing me to do what I love. I think there might have been points over the last couple of years where I kind of took a little bit of this for granted and said, it's not paying the bills or whatever, and I was focusing on what wasn't working rather than what was working. And I definitely found myself in some situations where I wasn't thrilled about life and where we're at here and without Parole. And I just don't feel that way anymore. So I appreciate everybody, all your support, whether it's on patreon.com/withoutparolegames or by being a member over here or by tipping during the show. Thank you for your financial support. It keeps the lights on. And I really, really appreciate that. You remember, guys, you got to support what you love, right? But even if you're not supporting me financially, you are still supporting me just by being here, by hanging out in the chat, by playing 20 questions with us, shooting the shit while I shoot the shit. And we love you guys just as much. Happy Friday, everyone. Let's go. Oh, wait, what do we normally do on a Friday? Oh, wait, no, we did Clip of the Week on Friday on Monday. Oh, God, but I don't have a co-host, so was I supposed to cue the cat? No. This, I don't know. I'm just going to go brew more coffee. I love you guys. Good night.